The Fallout TV show. Let's see.
Two things that I think no matter who you are, you'll always get the heebie-jeebies upon hearing them. It's just something that'll put anyone on edge. The first is if someone screams fire in a crowded space, like a movie theater or a concert venue. And the second is if you're told that a beloved video game franchise is getting adapted into a television program, which is just about as painful as getting caught in a fire. Video game adaptations are all over the place. The hits hit, and the shits shit.
True.
Like the Halo series. Goodness gracious, what a stinky Methodist that was. Season 1 was made by people that were proud to have never touched the Halo games, so obviously the
that's such a common thing. Hollywood just does this now. Hey, have you ever seen, played, or heard of this thing that we're adapting? No. Good. Keep it that way. Congratulations. You're the showrunner. Enjoy.
Show was kind of doomed to fail from the get-go. Season 2 was a little bit better, albeit not great by any means, but
Season 2 was marketed to be a return to form, but it wasn't. So, you know.
That doesn't necessarily mean that all video game live-action series are bad. We just recently saw a good one with Last of Us, for example. So, with...
Okay, I absolutely hated The Last of Us. I think The Last of Us could have been decent-ish if it actually, you know, changed more things around. For example, Ellie, I hated her for the first all episodes that I watched. I watched 3 or 4 episodes and then I just gave up on the show because it was just, no. When you're going into a building and you're doing like this and you can't even explain to her what the hell a clicker is and that they're most likely dead, and that's, no, I'm sorry, no.
Fallout coming out, I was kind of skeptical, but I knew there was a chance that it could be good, and the trailers looked pretty decent, but I wasn't really going to rip my...
We got lucky. The trailers looked absolutely horrendous. The trailers, to me, made it look like an absolute 1 out of 10. Thankfully, we got lucky. And, you know, it was a 5 out of 10. A 5 out of 10 more on the good side, but a 5 out of 10 nonetheless. The highs are high, and the lows are sadly also extremely low.
My shirt off and start twirling it over my head like I'm at Mardi Gras begging for beads, shaking my tits. Like there was still a chance it could end up revolting and just trash. But now that it's released, I'm happy to say that's not the case. And if you've been on the internet over the last couple days, you'll see that the reviews for this are going gushing grannies for the Fallout series. And I think it's warranted. It's actually very good. Like, much to my...
I actually see it extremely split. Some people really like the show, some people really hate the show. Yeah, I see it as an absolute extreme. Any video is just like, I hate it, I love it, and yeah, there's not a lot of people down the middle, which is sad. You know, I'm down the middle, but you know, whatever. There's a lot of stuff wrong with it, but you know, hey, at least it's watchable.
I and many others pleasant surprises. I thought at best it would be decent, but it's actually pretty great, all things considered. I'll avoid spoilers here, but there's 8 episodes.
Pretty great, do not agree. I mean, if you only care about the great parts, then yeah, you can call it that. Again, if you shut your brain off, don't think about things, and you just watch it to watch it, yeah, it's a 7 out of 10. If you are paying slight attention, it's a 5 out of 10. If you're actually thinking about the world that they are in, it falls apart extremely fast. Like, most things, like, the showrunners literally did not take a single second to actually stop and think, does this make sense? Because none of it does. The raiders don't make sense, the vaults don't make sense. Now, admittedly, the vaults also in the game didn't make sense, but, you know, hey, they don't make any sense in the show at all. And then it's like a 3 out of 5. So yeah.
Episodes, all of which dropped on Amazon in one big batch. So they gave you the entire payload up front, which I've been very vocal, not a huge fan of the binge model. I'd prefer it was a weekly basis, because this just...
I like the binge model. You can watch like I watched it in 3 days. First 4 episodes day 1, and then 2 episodes the next day, and then the rest the last.
This means it's going to fade out of people's minds much quicker than something like an Invincible, which is another Amazon series that they do release weekly. It keeps people...
I don't think this matters. Invincible is just really good. Invincible is fucking awesome on all accounts. Storytelling, action, everything. It's great. So it's not gonna fade out of people's minds if you just drop it all in the same time. I actually am a big fan of dropping everything at the same time.
People talking about it, and it keeps everyone on the same pace. So you can reflect on each individual episode, speculate on where things are going, and digest it that way. I think it's a lot more fun, and it gives the series a longer runway in the public consciousness. So I think it was a bit of a fumble with just dropping it all at once, but there's people that swear by the binge model like it's a fucking religion. Like, they are really into being able to sit down and binge 8.5 hours worth of content all at once, and then talk about it for a day and be done. Which is totally fine. I'm not your dad. I'm not gonna come in there and start, like, spanking your cheeks for liking something I don't. It's just...
I don't believe that. You would spank anyone's cheeks if given the opportunity.
I prefer the weekly model, because then you get to all be at the exact same point together, and you get to talk about it, and it's a little bit more fun, at least in my personal opinion. But it's not that big of a deal. It's not like it has anything to do with the actual quality of the Fallout series.
True.
But I just wanted to mention that. Anyway, Fallout is very clearly made by people that are extremely knowledgeable on the games, and I think it's obviously because they...
Again, I don't understand where people... This is the thing I absolutely hate, that people say, oh, the series was great. Why? It completely destroyed lore. Like, the Fallout TV show, without question, has destroyed Fallout lore for the rest of time. This is a complete reset for almost everything and anything that has happened in the Fallout universe. Now, admittedly, is it the worst thing ever? No. No. The games don't care about their own lore, so why should the TV show honestly care about the Fallout lore?
They brought aboard Todd Howard. They brought in Bethesda to work on this with them. This isn't a situation like with Halo, where they're proudly oblivious to anything that happened in the established lore, and they just make shit up, pull all kinds of garbage out of their butthole and throw it onto the screen. Here, they paid close attention to the continuity of the series. They paid...
Hell no. Again, everyone who says this point, it's just, no, how can you even think that? Every surface dweller is pretty much a drooling moron. Okay? The vaults are literally incest bits. The Brotherhood of Steel is this goon squad, essentially, of nothingness and doesn't make sense. And ghouls are now these magical, immortal people immune to bullets unless, you know, a protagonist shoots them, in which case they're very susceptible to bullets, unless you are the protagonist, because then you're still not susceptible to the bullets, okay? And they turn feral if they don't ingest this magical cure thing. Yeah, again, no. I don't understand how people defend this spot. It's just simply not true.
Very close attention to all of the lore that has been established in the Fallout universe, and they tell their own story within it, for the most part, that plays by all of the established rules. And I really like that. What should be common sense to everyone in the industry is a very rare delight, it seems, where if you bring aboard the people that helped create this property you're adapting, you get a much better product, because you're adapting with the actual creators on board to help steer the ship. Fucking mind-boggling.
There's something wrong with the audio from his side. I don't know. It's like a little bit screechy.
Concept, I know. Someone go ahead and tell all the other dog shit video game adaptations that this is the chemical X to the formula you need. Bring in the actual creators. I mean, this and One Piece, like, it should be pretty obvious by this point. Yet we do still continue to get horrible adaptations in the space somehow. But anyway, Fallout is not a horrible adaptation by any means whatsoever. So the story really
True. It's not good, but it's not horrible.
Feels right at home in like a Fallout game. It's very reminiscent of Fallout 3, at least in the beginning, because it's very simple to start. You follow a vault dweller named Lucy, and some bad shit happens, and her dad gets taken. So she leaves the vault to find her dad. And of course, it gets...
Don't think about this too much. Why did dad get taken? Don't think about any of that too much, okay? Because, man, the first episode is It's great establishing characters, like it introduces you to the ghoul and you love him. Lucy is flat out the best character. Maximus is the biggest fail in the history of fails, which is sad because all of them are really great actors. But Maximus in season 2 hopefully finally has at least some redemption to become a good character, but we don't know that just yet, right? Man, see, episode 1 introduces the characters in a good way, but it's like everything that happens in episode 1 also is beyond autistic. Raiders infiltrating the vault, overseers, the system. It's just bad, okay? It's just bad. And especially with the revelations you get at the last episode or two, the fact that the Raiders even can get into the vault just makes no goddamn sense. They just had no way to start Fallout 3, you know? They couldn't actually think of a reasonable way that actually makes sense that, you know, they get in, okay? Lucy's mom's pit boy magically surviving, okay, I'll buy that, survived good enough it could be repaired, and then they go into Vault 33. But they didn't go into Vault 33, they went into Vault 32, pretended to be the overseer, and after the revelations of the last episodes, you understand, wait a minute, that shit can't even work, because because Lucy's dad would instantaneously know that, wait a minute, you're actually not from Vault 31, because I don't recognize you, and stuff like that. It's just, please no.
It's a lot deeper than that. Obviously, it doesn't stay simple. It's a lot more than just finding Pops and getting them back home. You meet a lot of really cool characters right away, like the Ghoul, who I think really is a scene stealer anytime the Ghoul is on screen.
Yeah, true.
And then you meet Maximus, the Brotherhood of Steel.
By the way, the one really good thing that Fallout does in general, I think, and no one gives it enough credit because we have simply forgotten that this is even a thing, but it's gore and violence, okay? Man, is it refreshing to see the violence of the Fallout TV series. Because, come on, how many movies now we have where someone just gets smushed, okay? Where someone's brains get blown out. Not enough, not enough. And Fallout just does it, and it's good. It's good. Ah, man, how I miss the glory days of violence.
Steel representative. And I just gotta tell you, one of the biggest compliments I can give this show is that they fucking nailed the aesthetic of Fallout. Every single frame of this show oozes Fallout. At no point did I ever get the impression that they're just doing some kind of bad cosplay.
I did. Episode 2, easily also the worst episode. Dude, you cannot tell me that town is not just like a Megaton reference, okay? And the people in that town, they're just dressed in raggedy rags for no reason whatsoever. They're just randomly wearing shit on themselves for no reason. They got implants in their cheeks for no reason. It's honestly more Mad Max than Fallout, that stupid town. So when it got sacked by the Brotherhood of Steel, I was like, yeah, everyone in that town deserves to die. Good.
All of the sets, and especially the power armor, look phenomenal. I've seen a complaint from actual drones that are just trying their best to find things to hate about the show, saying that it...
The power armor looks good, but the back, the leg part, yeah, that does not look that great, honestly.
It's just nothing but references, and that it never actually captures the ambiance of Fallout. What a bunch of hooey. Like that, there's plenty of things you cannot like about this show. I openly admit that.
I mean, there is an argument to be made for that, because, for example, we never get the, you know, wasteland vibe. It's just a desert, but no one's really struggling to survive. And Lucy's just like, you know, slightly parched at one point, and then she drinks water, and that's pretty much it. But the wasteland does not seem like the wasteland. There's trees, there's forests, there seemingly is a lot of fresh water, honestly. There's random mutants here and there, or abominations as they call them, that are completely just new and out of nowhere. Well, they explain why they're there, but you still get the point. You know, stuff like that, okay? It looks Fallout, for the most part, The vertibirds, the guns, the everything, yes, it looks Fallout. The vault suits and all of that, yes, it looks Fallout, but do they capture the feel of Fallout? I don't know. Again, the Wasteland doesn't seem this harsh place to survive. It seems like not a harsh place at all, honestly.
That it's not perfect, but that is one that you are actually making up a bunch of gobbledygook for. Because this show fucking nails the Fallout vibe. From its sets, to its costumes, to its world, to its writing, everything in this show is a slam dunk with capturing the feel of Fallout. Now, my favorite Fallout is actually Fallout 3, even though I recognize Fallout New Vegas is the
Boo, 3 is bad. 3 is overrated.
Best Fallout game, probably. I don't even know why I'm saying probably. I think objectively Fallout New Vegas is the best Fallout game. It is extraordinary, and if you check my channel, some of my earliest videos that started to like get shared elsewhere were Fallout New Vegas videos I was making because I put so much time into it. But there was something super special about Fallout 3 in particular that really sunk its fangs deep into my soul. Like, it captured me in a way that very few games had prior and very few games have since.
Fallout 3 was one of the first games that you played that actually hit like that, so yeah, that's why a lot of people like it.
When that game came out, I spent that entire summer just basically doing everything possible in Fallout 3 and then some. I put so many hours into that game in one summer, it was like I was trying to train to be a fucking pilot. I put more hours into that than pilots do into flight simulators. I was going crazy with it. But I do recognize Fallout New Vegas is the best game in the franchise, to be honest. But the reason why I'm pointing this out is because when watching the show, it's very easy to see references and little Easter eggs to things directly from the game. But to say that the show is nothing but references is so fucking stupid. Like, actually...
The show is a lot of references. By the way, I don't count references as things. And I don't agree with what even people call Easter eggs nowadays.
Brain dead to make that as some kind of complaint. Because this show is not just relying on cameos and references and fan service. It tells a really good story. It has beautiful presentation. Its visuals are extraordinary. And we'll get into...
I don't know about that, Chief. The story is kind of the weak part because there's so many things left unanswered, and the things that got answered are leaving me scratching my head, and I'm wondering, how the fuck does this make sense? Hello? Like, what?
Even more compliments here in a minute, but there is so much more than just referencing the games. But as someone who puts so much time into a lot of the Fallout games, there are very clear little Easter eggs and references, but that's not at all the bulk of the show whatsoever, and it's ridiculous to even try and make the claim that it is. So I just wanted to point that out. But anyway, I think this show is going to appeal to pretty much everyone, even if you don't know that it's based on games or anything.
As it should be. I don't... Dude, if you're gonna make a TV adaptation, then you need to do a quiz before watching it. Did you play the games? That's probably gonna be a horrible show. So, yeah. The fact that you can go in it and watch it as someone who has never heard of Fallout before, that's fine. That's good.
Even if you have no idea what Fallout the franchise is, if you just see this come across your Amazon, you're like, I'll check it out. I think this show is gonna hook you immediately. From the very beginning, the intro with the bombs dropping, breathtaking.
Yeah, that was good. Yeah, that was the best.
I thought that was great.
But then episode 2 comes in and you understand that every single Wastelander is autistic, and they just show up. You just have like 3 minutes of a guy's ass in rags being shown. It's like, yeah, maybe I shouldn't actually watch this.
Great. And the action is so violent and so gory, I was surprised. Like, I thought it would be pretty violent and gory given how Fallout goes, especially with VATS and everything, but I didn't think they'd really be able to capture the feel of VATS in live action. Boy howdy, I was...
But they never did. The Ghoul doesn't have a Pip-Boy. Pip-Boy, excuse me, Pit. I always want to say Pit-Boy. The Ghoul doesn't have that. There's no VATS. Lucy never uses VATS.
Very wrong. The very first time the Ghoul gets into his gunfight in a town where he just slaughters, brutally massacres like 20 different dudes, it is a thing of beauty.
True, until he starts fighting Maximus and that kind of ruins it. Okay, again, that fight before Maximus shows, it is really good. I love it. It's absolutely great and shit, right? But, When he starts fighting Maximus, that's where we're completely lost, boys, okay? Especially, again, the more revelations they do, the more the show doesn't make sense. And this is one of the things. When the ghoul fights Maximus, in the last episode, you learn that the ghoul knows about a fatal flaw in the power armor that just allows them to, well, kill all the people in the power armor like they're made out of, you know, cheese or whatever. You know, it's a hot knife going through butter. But against Maximus, he's there, like, shooting him aimlessly for what? The equivalent of 5 minutes, and that's pretty much it, which is super lame. Especially when you learn that, wait a minute, this guy knows how to kill people in power armor with one shot, what the hell? So, yeah.
They do it masterfully with, like, slow-mo that doesn't feel like Zack Snyder Rebel Moon slow-mo where it's just useless and bloat. It feels so stylized. So he's got, like, his little gizmo, his little doohickey that's shooting these giant fucking, like, mini...
Yeah, and then there's slow-mo in the last episode, and that's pretty bad. But usually the slow-mo is good. The only fight that doesn't feel too good is the last episode, and that's it. Everything else is top-notch.
Nukes almost from a pistol, like a revolver, and it's, like, piercing people and blowing their entire spine out their ass, like half of someone's head gets blasted off in a collateral, and he's just, like, going around in circles like it's Deadeye out of Red Dead Redemption. It's so cool. They really nail the VATS system feel in live action. It was extraordinary. And I think that's going to hook...
But again, the ghoul doesn't have VATS.
Hook anybody, even if you don't know it's supposed to be, like, VATS inspired. It was great. And like I said, I really do like the narrative here, and I really like the writing of the characters. None of the characters feel annoying. It doesn't feel like they're trying to...
Maximus feels super annoying. Dude, even people who are, oh yeah, the show's great, easy 9 out of 10, agree that Maximus is written horribly.
It just emulates some of the greatness that the game's captured with some iconic characters. It feels like they really took the writing style of what worked in the Fallout games and made believable characters in live action here out of it. At no point, for example, Lucy, I never felt like she was annoying or anything. She's the naive vault dweller, and now she's in the surface world, and things are super...
Again, an oversimplification of Lucy's character. If you think Lucy is just an, you know, naive vault dweller, and that's what she is supposed to be, holy, are you looking wrong on her character. Lucy is by far the best character in the Fallout TV show. Hell, she's honestly the best female character in, man, a year maybe? I don't know if I have watched a show with a better female character than Lucy. Lucy is absolutely amazing. Great character, great development, great everything. Like, she is absolutely great. She's not a Mary Sue in any way. She's great. And if you think that she's just this naive vault dweller, you have not been paying attention to what you have seen. Lucy's story is so much more than that. It's crazy, okay? Lucy's story is about a person that's naive, gets a taste of reality, and the world tries to break them, and the world succeeds in breaking them and showing that she cannot continue to be what she is, but she does not forsake her ideals, and still keeps being this good person, which is in juxtaposition to the ghoul, who was also a nice person before the bombs dropped, but after everything happened, he changed and forsake him being a good person in order to survive, while Lucy has managed to survive and yet still be a good person, which means that she is a greater human than the ghoul, which is great. And the ghoul tries to break her because he wants to prove to her that what he chose is right, that the violence and hate that he chose and the way he treats people is right because that's what you need to do to survive. And Lucy proves him wrong through her actions. Okay? Anyone who says Lucy is just a naive vault dweller, you have not been paying any attention. And this is why you probably think the show is like a 10 out of 10, because you do not pay attention.
Different up here, and she conducts herself in a very peculiar manner. Like in the scene I'm mentioning with the ghoul, she's like, "Listen, sir, I don't know who the aggressor was, but I think we can all agree that maybe it's time you get out of here. Scram! Get out of town, or I'll be forced to use deadly force against you." That kind of thing. and it doesn't feel corny. It feels fresh. Like, it really does. However,
it's not fresh, and the more you learn about Lucy and see her do things, at first when that happened, I thought that because we saw just one scene. In the trailer I talked about this. Holy shit, is this a stupid scene? This character is gonna be stupid. Because that's all that we got. And good job, Amazon, on choosing the literal worst fucking scene because you thought it's funny. You know? I did not peg to Lucy to be even a remotely good character, but turns out she's the greatest character in a long time. Okay? And that scene, you know, now we know the full context of it, and yes, at that point she's trying to resolve things. Yeah, no. If you look at Lucy like that, you're just flat out wrong.
However, this isn't necessarily in regards to character writing, but just general writing. There are so many plot conveniences that happen that you start to go, interesting. Like, it's important to take note that...
Yeah, there are. People just find each other at random. Yeah, there is a tracker in the head. Yes, they're all tracking the head, but there's a lot of situations where people just find what they're looking for exactly when they need to find it, or find each other exactly in the right moment for everything to happen.
That this is a huge world, right? Yet somehow, people are exactly where they need to be, when they need to be. And they keep, coincidentally, just like running into each other and fucking stumbling into the exact position they need to be in for the story to continue the way that it has. Like, I get that it's a show, but at certain points it was like, come on, are you fucking kidding me? You're telling me, like, in the middle of fucking nowhere you were able to find this and do that? Again, I'm trying to avoid the spoilers, but even by episode 2, I think many of you will know what I'm trying to talk about here. Maybe it's a stylistic...
Yeah, again, all of them are in the city. All of them are in the town. Just at the exact right times.
...choice. It's inspired by the video game's fast travel. So all the characters in the show can literally, like, fucking Goku instant transmission exactly where they want to be, immediately when they want to be there.
Yep.
Like, maybe it's on purpose. In fact, there was a couple moments towards the end of the season that did feel like they were like, alright, come on, let's start to finish this off here. We've got deadlines to meet. Let's start to really make a push to the finish line. Like, there are certain things, and I'm trying to avoid spoilers, that do feel like they are rushed towards the end.
No, the last 3 episodes... Well, each of them is more rushed than the other, but yeah, there's a lot of things that need to be hammered in at the end, and again, one of the worst parts about the Fallout TV series is the fact that at the start you get these 3 plot lines that you need to uncover what's happening and whatnot, and, you know, then they're completely forgotten for 6 more episodes, and then at the last episode they're all just uncovered, and it doesn't make sense in a lot of cases, especially the Raider woman, you know, who got into the vault. Like, she makes literally 0 sense on every level possible from what we saw from the first episode. It's like complete moronicism.
But I don't think that really takes away.
And you know what's actually kind of scaring me for season 2? Because I'm obviously watching season 2, right? 5 out of 10, but it's still more of a good 5 out of 10 than a bad one, right? So what scares me is in the last 3 episodes there were so many joke moments. It's like so many wacky wasteland moments, and all of them suck in my opinion. They're completely unnecessary. Honestly, all the romance in this series is completely not necessary. Even though the romance between Maximus and Lucy actually kind of even could fit, because it's kind of realistic that stuff like that happens after you have, you know, gone through a lot of things. And the 2 of them, they have gone through a lot of things together, right? But still, all the romance in that series is just completely unnecessary except the goal. His romance does make sense, but everything else is like, okay, how about we just ignore that this happened and just skip it, okay? Lucy, how about you just don't randomly decide to jump on someone's dick because no reason, okay? How about you do that, okay, sweetie? Yeah. And the goofy moments again, they're just really bad. The Vault 4 ending where it's like, aha, and yeah, we're letting you go. We're just, it's dumb. It's really dumb.
Away from the overall experience of the season either. It wasn't that detrimental, but it was a little sad to see that it did seem like it was trying to hurry itself along. But I don't have any major complaints about like the overall narrative of the show. However, I did decide to look into those that do, because there were a lot of people that were very vocal about how much they hated the direction the narrative went, which was a little surprising to me. And for the most part, what I'm seeing is people didn't like how it handled the New Vegas element of the show.
That's a first. I have not heard anyone say about that. I'm not sure what's to not like or like about that. I don't know. It's just like season 2 is gonna happen in New Vegas probably. Yeah, I mean, well, I don't know what's there to not like and what's there to like, because you know it's New Vegas. Yeah, we know what that is. I'm not sure what people don't like, or do they actually like. You can be excited because you want to see New Vegas, but what you would be angry about and the fact that New Vegas got revealed, I'm not sure.
This show fits in the Fallout universe, like I said. So New Vegas, I'm really trying to avoid spoilers, but New Vegas, it's here in a certain capacity. And a lot of people thought that the show was kind of spitting on it to a certain degree and kind of just like...
Wait, it actually just hit me. When they go to the observatory, I thought an observatory, oh wow, like in New Vegas, you know, where the ghouls are. Well, it's not that, but, you know, I thought, wow, okay, this is like in New Vegas, the observatory. Okay, cool. So, wait, was that observatory actually the one near New Vegas? Was that the idea? I don't think it is, but,
writing New Vegas off, or not really paying respect to what New Vegas canon, like, solidified to a certain degree. And I just have to disagree. Like, I really feel like the show, if it continues, is actually going to put a pretty big emphasis on that going forward. At least that's the impression I get.
Okay, I think we're done here. But, you know, by the way, so if you're a Fallout game fan and purist, you probably are going to hate the show, because you know what the show is going to do? It's going to completely rewrite the direction that Fallout is going to go in because of this. Like Todd Howard said, the Fallout TV show is Fallout 5. It's gonna set the direction, it's gonna set the new rules, it's gonna set all of the things that the further games are gonna hinge on. Because the Fallout plotline has not moved since the bombs have dropped, honestly. It's just the bombs, the mutants, the Brotherhood of Steel, another maybe faction implemented somewhere, and they're all just doing random things. But nothing really moves the narrative needle along the way. And this show kind of does. So I think Fallout 5, or maybe they're gonna straight go to Fallout 6 as a game, is gonna be a move in the direction after the show, I think. Anyway, that was Moist Critical. That was Fallout New Vegas. No, I mean the Fallout TV show. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.